Hey, yo, I lost trial, got 15 years, but I wouldn't change none of it.
All right, my G. So losing trial, 15 years. Dog, go ahead and walk the viewer through just how that felt leaving the courtroom, going back to the county jail with a 15-year sentence. How old were you?
Oh, I was 26.
26. So how did it feel, bro, being sentenced to 15 years, bro,
I
losing trial?
was, bro, I was numb. I felt numb at that moment in the courtroom. I was, you had your family there and they just seen that, and it was of no expression in the courtroom. I stayed still. I stayed just expressionless. But when they took me to the back, they took me out the courtroom and took me to the back. Lord have mercy, I broke down. I broke down. It was just like everything just hit me all at one time. Boom, and this just weight just dropped. Going in the county.
All right, good afternoon. This is State of Florida versus Stephen Testa with multiple cases before the court.
Yo, what's poppin', man? It's your boy E. the King, and this is the Incarceration Podcast, where I talk about prison, pre, post, and present, and how everything that I experienced throughout my incarceration has forever changed my life. This is the Incarceration. So Forever Convict family, once again, we are on the journey to 50,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so now. Share this channel with somebody who hasn't. All right, my dog Max, bro. First of
What's
all,
up?
man, before we even get into our how we cross paths, man, obviously, bro, in the chain gang, we're gonna go ahead and
Yes,
dive
sir.
straight into your story, bro. So go ahead and just introduce yourself to the viewer. First of all, bro, welcome to the Incarceration Podcast. Introduce yourself to the viewer and just go ahead and get into your story, bro, and start. Just let the viewer know about your childhood and your upbringing and what began to lead you into a lifestyle of crime and the
Yes, sir.
streets.
Yes, up, man. Yeah, man. Name is Max. Max Michelle. From New York. Born there. 85, baby, man. Moved down to Florida at a young age. From Brooklyn. Middle child. Both parents were immigrants. Came here. Work hard, got naturalized, whatever. So first
Are
generation.
you tired of filling out application after application after application just to continue to get denied the job because of your criminal record? Well, did you know that you can get your criminal record or charges removed? Do you want a clean start by removing your charges or criminal record from your history? With a high success rate of helping those in need nationwide, holla at my homegirl, Farrah Mitchell. And don't forget to use the code word EI for your discounted price.
And just everyday childhood, man. Spanish home, so sometimes it's a little tough upbringing, just with the way that things could be, with that type of setting and that type of household. So naturally, whoever's the one that's, putting together the rules of the house, basically making the house home, and you tend to rebel whenever they're not there. So I had my moments where I would just be me, just as a kid, getting in all kinds of trouble. Wasn't until, of course, I started school and, you know, um, I want to say middle school, man, really, life started taking a turn, just neighborhood kids, peer pressure, and, the drug usage started coming around, so kind of late in the middle school, kind of going into high school, you know, you name it. Next thing you know, I'm getting arrested for drug paraphernalia. Didn't graduate high school, ended up going to Job Corps still, heavy drug usage, just a lot of smoking weed and partying, just didn't get my high school diploma in high school, didn't walk on my class, but I got a GED when I was 16, so straight into the work world. I wasn't afraid to work, work hard with my hands, but just always a knucklehead, always into something stupid with the wrong crowd. Long story short, uh, bad relationships, bad scenario, bad just company, bad everything. Like, I mean, and we can go into the details of how all of this just falls out. Uh, Next thing you know, I'm looking at 15 years, and it was crazy battling my case for like 4 years on the streets and not knowing what my life was gonna be. It was just hanging in the balance between that time. So it's like you don't really even live life with how you're gonna even decide which way you want to go, what plans do you have for you. So finally, the moment of truth, my court case comes and they lost trial, and now I'm sitting in county, and
All right, hold on.
finally,
Let me interrupt you, bro. I'm sorry. All right, just slow it down. All right, before you caught the charge that led to your 15-year prison bid, like, what was the beginning stages of you, like, actually getting caught up, like, in the streets? I know you're saying, like, you were using drugs and things like that, but was that, like, your first arrest is what led to the 15 years, or did you get arrested previously before that? And what were you mainly doing? Were you, like, selling drugs? Were you robbing? Were you using? Like,
I
what
mean,
lifestyle?
really at first it was just, just the hanging out with the people, just, your little crew, I guess, and just getting in trouble at school, being dumb. It was really drug paraphernalia. Um, I didn't get caught selling or smoking or anything, but I was selling weed, a little bit of pills here and there. I wasn't balling out of control or anything, but then again, like, it's just that lifestyle, you feel me? Just what that comes with, the people that you end up kind of what gravitates to you. You know what I mean? Just nothing good comes out of it. There's a lot of pain and hurt and suffering at times where, just people like that kind of just cling together, and we all just self-medicate each other in that process. So, there were other people that I was hanging out with. Of course, they were in the streets a little more than what I was. They were like, guns on their waist, they flagging, they doing their thing, like they repping. I was never a part of that. I just know that those were my friends growing up, and they eventually went into that lifestyle, as they grew up, from the neighborhood, just from the, you know, and I seen that I was cool with that, but I wasn't in it per se, you know what I mean? So a lot of that could contribute to your down spiral, thinking that you can figure your life out on your own with what you know, and in reality you don't know nothing, and you end up facing the type of time that you face, once you realize that, the type of crowd that you had around you wasn't beneficial to you, to anybody else around you. And it's like, it was crazy. Like, when you're in that cell, you start really thinking about everything all together, you know.
Yeah, so was that your first arrest that led to the 15 years, or were you arrested previously before this?
Well, as a minor, I had two misdemeanors. You know what I mean? As a minor, I had gotten into plenty of fights, of course, growing up. I was in school. I ran away from the cops before, just being dumb out and doing stupid stuff just as a kid, neighborhood stuff. And I mean, wouldn't say I had any beef on the streets or anything, but as far as legal matters, man, like, just juvenile. I didn't get juvenile detention. I didn't get that, but I had like twice, which is crazy. I had the kid version, I guess you could say, of the probation. So went through that whole system twice. Had to do, the whole, we had to do the whole, what you call it, the drug cases. The drug screening, the drug classes. Had to go to the funeral home. So I ran through that process twice as a kid, because it's like those deviation programs, basically trying to keep you from going to prison. The judge was lenient on me in those two moments. Still, you grow up or whatever, it still doesn't necessarily sink in. You grow up still thinking that, you kind of got a little bit of stripes or something like that. You kind of shook the cops here and there, whatever. Oh yeah, it doesn't mean anything, man.
All right, my G, so losing trial, 15 years. Dog, go ahead and walk the viewer through just how that felt, leaving the courtroom, going back to the county jail with a 15-year sentence. How old were you?
Oh, I was 26.
26. So how did it feel, bro, being sentenced to 15 years, bro, losing trial?
Bro, I was numb. I felt numb at that moment in the courtroom. I was, you had your family there, and they just seen that, and it was of no expression in the courtroom. I stayed still. I stayed just expressionless. But when they took me to the back, they took me out the courtroom and took me to the back. Lord have mercy, I broke down. I broke down. It was just like everything just hit me all at one time. Boom, and this just weight just dropped. Going in the county, it was bittersweet. And the reason why I say it was bittersweet was because, of course, losing the trial, and then of course I went to the sentencing hearing 15 years. That same day when I came back to the county, I'm still there doing Bible studies with the young kids in there, like these young teenagers, 18, 19, 20 years old. Like, they're not that much younger than me, but they're younger than me. And they just yoked to me, and we were all having Bible studies. And I'm there still trying to break bread with them, and I'm got this lump in my throat. I'm looking like, yo, God, like, what's going on? Yeah, it was rough, man. It was definitely rough, and yeah, you don't know how to process that at that moment in time. A lot hits you, and you really don't want to talk to nobody. You really don't.
That's real, bro. So this transition into your entrance into prison, bro. So how was that first day, bro? From the Bluebird to the reception center, bro. How did that first day look, man? Paint the picture.
Well, first of all, I wasn't. I was tired. First of all, let's say I was tired because I didn't have much sleep. I always had an anticipation that there was a certain time of the week that I knew that we were gonna go, so I really wouldn't get much rest that night. Well, lo and behold, 3 hours of sleep later, they were tapping my bunk and said I was going. So of course I put all my stuff together and leave, and the tire on the paddy wagon on the way over there was flat. There was one of them that was flat, so it was a constant knocking on the way over there. And we were only going like 45 miles an hour, and it was just glock, 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 glock the whole way over there with that flat tire. And I was like, this is not real. Finally, we get there, and all the yelling and screaming, man, I did everything they told me to do. And probably as perfect as I probably would have ever done in my entire life. I did everything that they told me to do. I was like, I don't want no smoke. But oddly enough, I still saw God's favor in there. Like, one of them put me back in the chair to give me a haircut and everything. Like, aside from the crew, they shaving my beard. I'm like, yo, God, what's up? Like, okay. But, extra trays every once in a while. But even then, I'm just like, yo, I don't know what's going on. This is prison. I don't know nobody. Like, it got scary. Not that I was like, I felt like I was in fear of my life. It's just scary because you just don't know what to expect or what's going on. And everything is just a shock. And you already have an idea of what you think that it's supposed to be in prison with like Hollywood and with like, war stories or something like that. And then now you got to experience that for yourself. And you're thinking it's all the same thing. And in most cases, it really isn't. It's just, just for the first time for me, it was bugged out.
But that first day in though, like, you hear stories, and obviously, I know my experience, but did you see people getting like slapped down and like choke slammed and yoked up for like talking and all that? You see anything crazy like that your first day?
Not the first day. I want to say that was the second and the third day. And then, seeing dudes getting pushed up against the wall, their face on the wall, with the arm twisted behind their back. The continual like degrading disrespect, and the way that they said that they're gonna basically use force on you, how they were gonna kick you here, there, and like punch you and slap, like, yeah, straight up. Like that's your introduction to prison, man.
Yeah, man. All right, so continuing with the prison journey, man, like, how did you begin to settle in with your schedule? What institution, what prison you go to first? Where do you get transferred to? And what did your everyday lifestyle in prison look like?